Welcome, everyone, to this edition of the Podium Player Interview Series. We will be interviewing players in the upcoming All-Star Bowl. Today's guest is Whittier College wide receiver, Hakim Williams. Hakim, it's great to have you on.
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure's all mine.
The first thing I want to ask you, now the upcoming Podium Bowl coming up in January, just how are you preparing for that? And just what did it mean to get that invitation to be able to go to the next step in a professional career?
Honestly, how I'm preparing for that, just basically what I was doing in the off season, just meeting with my trainers, just lifting, just making sure I'm doing the right things, making sure my body's all right. And then with the whole invitation, honestly, it's a blessing because I know there are a bunch of athletes that play my position, and it's like hard to get invites to these bowl games, and it's honestly a blessing. So I thank God for that, and I'm just excited to take that next step into my career.
Yeah, and is there any way that you were just inspired, maybe growing up and playing football, that maybe led you to where you are now? Was there maybe a certain player or a coach or a family member?
For me, I would say my brother was probably one of the biggest impacts. He's 44, I believe. I forgot what my brother is, but he's the one that brought me into football. And just there was a point in my life where I just wasn't that good. And he's always honest with me. He was like, if you really want it, then you got to get after it. And like my junior year of high school, that's when I turned it up. And I fell in love with it ever since because of him, just having that talk with him.
Yeah, and I also wanted to ask you just, if you're hitting a slump or maybe something isn't going your way, just how do you get out of that? Is there anything that maybe drives you, maybe getting out of a slump or maybe inside your own head?
Honestly, prayer. That's like the biggest thing for me. Prayer, worship, and just like talking to a loved one about my situation. And honestly, I just use my situation or just everything that I'm going through as fuel. Like, because I know at the end of the day, there's somebody doing something much worse than me. So I'm not going to sit around and complain about like my slump that I'm in or whatever. I know I could bounce back from it. So I'm not really going to be too down on myself.
Yeah, and you had an amazing career at Whittier College. You had over 100 receptions in your career. Just what does that mean to you to be such a reliable player for Whittier? And end of your career, you'll have over 100 receptions.
Honestly, it was a big blessing because back in 2017 they took a chance on me, and I didn't know what to really expect. Being here for 4 years, and just them taking that chance on me and just really buying in and building up that trust with my head coach, like that truly means a lot. Because I know there are a lot of players that play college ball and that don't get that many opportunities to make plays, and it just felt good just being one of those people that they could rely on, like hey, we need a jump ball, go get it. We need this play, go get it. And it just felt good, honestly.
And being a receiver, just how important is it for you to have that connection with your quarterback and to be able to, he throws you the ball, able to have just without even talking, to have that connection with your QB?
Honestly, for me, it's a big thing because at the end of the day, you got to be on the same page with your quarterback. Yeah. Like, you just can't go out there and just throw me the ball, this, and this without even really practicing it. Because there were some cases where we did that, but we cleaned it up in practice. But I feel having that one-on-one relationship with the quarterback is very important.
Yeah, and coming up in the All-Star Bowl, you're going to be competing with different players, whether from the FCS, D2, D3. Just how do you see yourself separating from the other guys, and maybe the scouts, look at you and see you as having the guy with the most potential?
Honestly, I know that I'll be that one guy that can make a big play, regardless if I'm coming from a smaller school. Just people will know my name one way or another, and I'm a constantly bet on myself about that. So I'm just ready. I'm ready. Whoever I go up with, whatever quarterback I'm with, I'm gonna be ready. When that ball gets on my way, I'm gonna make a play on it.
Yeah, and if there are any scouts, GM, coaches watching, just what would you have to tell them on maybe why you should draft you or why they should sign you?
Just take that chance on me. I'm a team player. If you need me in a certain position, if you need me on the field, on special teams, just know I'll be there. I'm not gonna sit there and complain about playing time. Just if you need me in a certain spot, I'll be there. I'm reliable.
Yeah, and being a wide receiver, let's say hopefully you do make it to the league. Is there a certain quarterback that you would want to get a touchdown from? Maybe the main person. Like if you got one touchdown, it has to be from this guy.
If he's still in the league, I would say Aaron Rodgers. That would be nice. Just get one from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. And, also going a little bit in Whittier College, just for you, what does it mean to be a leader, amongst, maybe have some of the younger guys or freshmen, sophomores? Just how is it for you to be a leader and help those guys along the way?
Honestly, what it meant for me to be a leader, it honestly meant a lot because I know having that leadership role or that captain position, it's very it's a high position and not too many people could lead their team. And the fact that my team chose me to be a captain or be a leader for them honestly meant a lot because that means that they trust me and they know that they can rely on me. And I just feel that was something that kept me going throughout the season, just knowing that these guys put their trust in me. And I know being a leader is hard, but I like to lead by my actions. And that was something that I tried doing a lot more.
Yeah. And how was it, talking to coaches or maybe, when the coaches come up to you to ask you to help out other guys, just what is your immediate reaction? And what does that mean when you get that respect from coaches where they could see you, but they don't have to talk to the players? They can go up to you and you have to do it.
I would say at some points it was kind of some pressure because normally the coaches do that, and just having that, all right, we need you to go talk to this guy, we need you to go do this, it's okay, how am I going to talk to them? I don't, I know this player, but I don't know how they would react if I try and correct him. I feel that was the hardest part.
Well, I wanted to go back a little bit, maybe when you were younger, just for you. What was your number one, football moment? Was it playing? Did you see something on TV, a player? Just for you, maybe what was your first memory of football?
I would say my first memory of football, just probably watching Steve Smith, just in any NFL game, just watching him, how much of an explosive player he was, especially for his size. And I know as a receiver, I'm 6 foot. I'm not your 6'2" type of receiver, but just the way he was able to play the game, that's something that was okay, this dude is special. I just want to be able to play like him. I just want to be explosive receiver like him. So just watching him when I was younger, it was something that was cool.
And now, we have this time coming up to the Podium Bowl. Just how are you preparing for that? Are you just watching film, or are you, practicing? Just what is it for you, and how are you preparing for this bowl game?
For me, one of the biggest ways I'm preparing, just trying to get the details down. I met with my trainers, and they would tell me it's we're gonna basically rebuild what we started. So during the off season, we went through all these phases. Okay, we're gonna build you up. But now you're going to that next step in your career. So we got to break that down and rebuild you back up, but in a much better stature. And I just got to make sure, one, my body is right. I've been watching some film, but just making sure my mental is right. I feel that's the biggest thing for me, just making sure my head's in the right space before I get over there.
Yeah, well, I do have a couple more questions. The first one, just are there any guys in the league, maybe any receivers in the NFL that you look at, maybe you try to emulate some of their game, whether it's maybe someone like a Julio or Devontae Adams? Is there anyone that you really look at?
A few people that I look at, I would say Stephon Diggs, DK Metcalf, and Odell. Those three receivers, actually Devontae too, Devontae Adams, my fault. Can't leave him out. Those four receivers, looking at them, I just try and take something from their game and try and add it to my game and just add my little twist to it. But I look at them and just try and like react or do what they do, but of course, by like adding my little spin to it.
Yeah. Well, the Hakim, this is the last question I wanted to ask you. This might be the hardest question you get. How do you define greatness?
Yeah, that one is. Do I define greatness? I just feel the way I define greatness is just being uncommonly built, just doing things that are asked of you, doing more. And yeah, that one's a little tricky, but I just being uncommonly built, just betting on yourself, and just when your back's against the wall, how would you react? I feel that's how I defined it.
No,
It's a tricky one, but
yeah, I had to save the best one for last.
That was a good one.
Hakim, this has been a great interview. I want to wish you the best of luck. Coming in the bowl game, I'll be there, man. I wish you the best of luck, and a team will be lucky to have you.
Thank you so much.